Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, Jay Briggs here on a Saturday, ready to run through this NBA, man. Look, I got my guy Chris Ruffalo with me on a Saturday. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm doing all right, man. Like I said, love the NBA today, and I'm happy to actually finally make my debut on the live jam session. It's been a little while, long time coming, but better late than never, right?
Yes, sir. Better late than never. I'm sure glad to have you. A smaller card today in the NBA with two games already, one in the books, one in action. But it's not gonna slow us down. You know, we're still finna cook it up per usual.
Yeah, you know what? The early game kind of threw me for a loop, and then now this the one that's going on right now. I had a hard time getting a feel for the early games, but I'll tell you, it was the later games where I think we can really make some money today.
Yes, sir. I did lean Nuggets this morning. I didn't fire it up. I liked them a lot. They didn't pull it out. Their struggles continue. Uh, the Knicks, they're making a nice little second half run. That one right there that's going on, I did lean Magic. They've been winning majority of the way through. They're now down 3. We'll see if they can hold on for the cover in that one. But Chris, we can go ahead and head out to our first game on the board. We got the Sixers on the road facing the Pacers. Pacers were scrappy in their last one, mess around, beat the Bucks, who were red hot. Sixers, they're red hot right now in this one. Do they continue rolling in Indiana?
Yeah, I think they do. I think that Joel Embiid, a man possessed right now. He sees the MVP that's been eluding him, time and time again. And I think you're starting to see him really, I'm not saying that he was playing like he didn't want it before, but like I said, he's dialed in right now. And the thing for me is, it may seem like the public stance on it, but you see no Tyrese Halliburton, no Benedict Mathurin, and those guys they factored for 54 points the last time these two teams met. The time before that, 35 points. So you take that kind of production out of the lineup. I don't care. I know we're laying a similar number to what we've seen in the last couple meetings, but I don't care. I'm still sticking with the Sixers here, even though the Pacers have had the recent number of the Sixers. I'm sticking with Philly in this one.
Yeah, for sure. I like Philly in this spot too. I know it's a kind of a bad spot, road back to back, but in that same breath, they're in that mode right now. And like you said, the main guys really are out for the Pacers. They do still have Miles Turner in there, but their engine, the guy, their all-star, Halliburton will not be in there tonight. No Mathurin either. And I didn't know how many points they combined for in their last meeting against the Sixers. 54 is half 100, man. That's quite a bit of points there. What was the score in that last one?
It was like
147,
147.
143. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
high scoring game, but still, that's a lot of points missing from them, man. I don't want no piece of the Sixers right now. I don't want to fade them right now. I don't really like the spot, but I lean Sixers as well with you in this one. Joel Embiid is on that MVP push. I think he gets it this year too. The way the Nuggets have kind of tailed off now, if Embiid continues on this little run he's on, I think they give him the MVP, and I don't want to be trying to step in front of a man on a mission. So what I've said is some of the top tier teams recently, we've kind of seen them go through the motions, aka the Nuggets, the Celtics in a few games. The Sixers, they like I said, they actually have a motivational factor. The Nuggets, they don't really because their number one seeds already locked up. The Celtics kind of peaked early. The Sixers, though, I think they really want to get Embiid that MVP, and I think that's kind of why we seeing them play so hard recently.
Well, the other thing to take into consideration with Embiid is that he only played 29 minutes yesterday. It was a blowout in Charlotte. So it's not like they pushed him for a full 40, and now he's got to play a true back-to-back pretty much on, like, literal no rest where you played a full game. 29 minutes, this guy shot 16 to 21 from the floor. That's just another story. But, the thing for me here, though, is that, you mentioned it. The Sixers are playing, like, not only, like, Embiid has something to play for here, but they're playing for that number one seed. There's still time for them to leapfrog the Celtics. There's still time for them to catch the Milwaukee Bucks, two teams that have had some questionable losses as of late, especially the Boston Celtics. So, yeah, I think they smell blood in the water, and I think they're going for it here.
I think they're going for it too, and I don't want to fade them. I like them in this spot with you. I'm gonna take the Sixers, slay the 6.5 in that one as well. We head out to our next one. We got your Toronto team, man. Toronto Raptors. I don't know if I can say your Toronto team right now, but they got another disappointing team coming in there. The team I actually call the House of Disappointment. They let me down again yesterday. Did the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're getting 10 today in Toronto. Toronto has looked pretty good at home here recently. A lot of injuries, though, for the Minnesota Timberwolves. How you feeling in this
one? I put my Raptors up for adoption a long time ago. I really just I don't want any part of this Raptors team because they're inconsistent. And yes, they've been playing better at home as of late, and they've been playing better like they actually want to make a playoff push, but I just don't know because it's hard for me to lay 10.5 with the Raptors here. I think obviously the line move was a reaction to Anthony Edwards getting injured yesterday. Someone told me that they thought he was out for the season. I didn't see that. I see he's still questionable for this game, but maybe take him out as a precautionary measure. But I'm still leaning towards the Timberwolves at the points here. I don't know. There's just been times for me where the Raptors just don't look like they have that killer instinct, to be able to put a team away by 11 points. I think the Raptors could probably win this game, and if they win, it's going to come down to maybe 8 or 9 points. But 10.5 just seems like too much. The Timberwolves have been doing a good job covering on the road. I think they're 4-0 against the spread their last 4 on the road, or maybe 5-0 after yesterday's results. So I'm going to take the Raptors here. I'm going to take the Timberwolves here against the Raptors plus the points.
We're in agreement again on this one. I like the T-Wolves plus the points in this one. I don't love it either with no Anthony Edwards, and I'm saying Rudy Gobert doubtful, but still think this Timberwolves team can be scrappy. Toronto, yes, I will admit as well, they have been playing much better basketball with a nice win over the Denver Nuggets at home, 125-110, and then they beat up on my favorite money-making team, the Thunder Buddies. Both of those, they won by double digits, 10 points. But in that same breath, this is still the Timberwolves. I mean, this is still the Toronto Raptors. And like Chris said, I think when it's all said and done, the Timberwolves can keep this competitive and keep this game tight. I think we're looking at like a 7-8 point win as well. The Timberwolves did win the lone meeting this season. I will say, let's see what happened in that game. D'Angelo Russell had a nice game. He's no longer with the team for the Timberwolves. It's a tough spot. I'm not in rushing to the window to bet the Timberwolves in this spot, but in that same breath, I know I'm not betting the Raptors laying 10.
Yeah, I mean the other argument you can make is that the Raptors, 22-13 at home, but they're only outscoring teams by 3.4 points per game at home this season. So it's when they're winning games, they're getting the job done, but a lot of times they're either failing to cover. They're playing a lot of close games, or to balance out the good games that they're having, they're getting blown out at times at home as well. So I think it's gonna be. I just think it's a closer game than 10.5. I think this line's just gone too far.
Yes, sir. I think so too. We can head out to our next one. We got the Kings, the Red Hot Kings. Man, we've been making tons of money on this team coming out of the break. They're on the road though, facing the Wizards, who are playing for their season essentially today. Not really, but essentially they're playing for their season, man. Sacramento on the road has been money. They've won 6 straight. They're laying 3. Do they go for 7 straight today on the road?
Yeah, I think they do. You mentioned some, about the Wizards basically playing for their season here. They've been in this play-in tournament discussion for, God, feels like a couple months now. When we started even talking about the playoff discussion, like we were probably at that 45-50 game mark. And, the Wizards have been in that discussion, but it hasn't changed the fact that, the situation hasn't changed for the Wizards, is what I'm trying to say. Yet they've still lost 6 of 8 and not playing their best basketball. The desperation is there, but it hasn't seemed to matter. It's just the Wizards just haven't shown up. If you had told me earlier this season that the Kings would be fighting for a Pacific Division, sitting in the 2 seed with 13 games to go, I would have had you admitted to a psych ward, because I would have thought you were absolutely crazy, put you in a straitjacket. But it's all that potential for the Kings. It's finally coming to fruition. They're finding ways to win basketball games, and they're starting to give us that Thunder value that that Oklahoma City's given us for a couple of years now. Except the difference is Sacramento's winning the games. They're not just covering; they're winning the games as well. Laying points on the road, not always easy, but the way that the Kings are playing right now, I can't go against them.
I definitely understand the sentiment. I've said that a ton coming out of this All-Star break. I've been on the Kings a lot. I think they've only lost 2 games coming out of the break. One to Milwaukee, which is not, they weren't going to win every game coming out of the break. So a loss to Milwaukee is not the worst. And then the other one was a really tightly contested game with the Timberwolves. Other than that, man, they've beaten everybody coming out of the break. I said immediately coming out of the break, Chris, I thought maybe they were going to go on a little run the opposite way, lose some games and fall in the standings. And I quickly learned probably like 2-3 games, and I said, oh no, this is finna go the other way. And I've been on the Kings ever since. I got to be honest today, though. I kind of like the Wizards in this spot playing for their season. I think that they show an exerted effort today, man. They got to put all their chips on the table. They have lost 6 of 8. I know they've been in this situation, but I think today is the driving force where it's like, if we lose, it's over with. I don't like fading my Kings in this spot. I don't, but I do think the right side is the Washington Wizards. When we go look at it, they're right there in the thick of things. They're in the 12th spot in the Eastern Conference right now, but they're tied for the 10th with Chicago, who can they put it together? I don't know. Can Indiana put it together? I don't know. Those 3 teams are locked in a 3-way tie for that last spot. Wizards, man, I think they got to go hard here today. I don't really want to fade them. I kind of like the home dog here today. Don't really like fading my Kings. I didn't fire it up currently either. I will say that, but I do lean Wizards in this one, Chris. I do. I don't love it either. I don't.
Yeah, it's for me, I'm firmly standing pat. I've rode the Wizards into the ground, up to this point. Like you said, it's just for me, it's simply a case of they've been in this situation, but what's all of a sudden going to change today? For at least That's just the way I see it, because I'm a big believer, and I'll believe it when I see it. And the Wizards, for me personally, just haven't shown me that that they want it bad enough to be able to get the job done. But I can definitely see where you're coming from with the fact that, hey, it's got to start somewhere. So we'll see.
Kind of off topic. I see some guys talking about it in the chat. Does Duke come back and win this game?
I sure hope so. That's all I'll say. I sure hope they do.
They're down 33-26, 16 minutes to go. I don't have no action in the game, but I might line bet Duke to come back. I don't know. We'll see. We head out to our next one. It's a tough one for me, kind of. We got 2 teams, Chris, that I don't really like. The Miami Heat and the Chicago Bulls. I will say, Miami, most of my dislike for them is on their home floor. I fade Miami down there every chance I get on their home floor. The worst home ATS team in the league. On the road, they're not as bad. They're really not. Chicago, they're coming off that double overtime win yesterday in Minnesota. On a back-to-back. Do they have enough in the tank today to beat the Bulls? I mean, to beat the Heat today at home?
I mean, potentially they do. They've done it twice this season, but I don't know. I when I was looking at this game, I looked at the under, mainly because to me this just feels like an ugly, physical 1990s style basketball game. Lots of elbows in the paint. First to 100 wins this game. Probably get a little bit above that, but 216.5, I think is where I most recently saw the total. I think it's just too high. To me, this feels like, whichever way you have it going, like a 109, 103 kind of game. Like I said, I'm with you. I don't have a real good feeling on either of these teams. 2 teams I really just do not like. The Heat are a little bit more tolerable on the road, but the Bulls, they just do my head, and sometimes I can't figure them out.
I 100% agree with that last statement. I have all season said the Bulls are the most inconsistent team in the NBA. It's just hard to know what you're going to get from them on a nightly basis. Tonight, though, as much as I do love fading the Miami Heat, you said another key thing there. They're more tolerable on the road than they are at home. I'm going to give them a shot here today. I am going to roll with the Miami Heat. I'll lay the 2.5 in this spot. They're working with double revenge, as the Chicago Bulls did win both meetings this season. They both were in Miami, so we know we fade them there, so it's not really surprising. But I do like Miami in this spot. I don't like the spot at all for Chicago. They basically just played a game and a half yesterday, and then had to turn around and play the Heat again on this back-to-back. You said you like the under in this spot, Chris?
Yeah, I do.
I like the under with you in this one. I don't give a whole lot of totals in the NBA, but I do like the under in this one. These are 2 really defensive teams. Bulls have been playing some great defense coming out of the break. That's kind of been their hanging card to keep some of these games competitive. In the Heat, we know they're mainly a defensive team. I don't think the Bulls do a whole lot of scoring today on this back-to-back. kind of some dead legs, and I can see the Heat continuing to kind of struggle from that 3-point range, getting inside. I like Miami laid at 2.5, and I agree with you on that under in this one, Chris.
Like I said, 1990 style basketball. This is going to be a complete throwback game. The thing for me is that I don't know why the Bulls are struggling as much. Actually, I should say it for both these teams. I don't know why both teams are struggling as much as they are. I know the Heat have had injury issues all year long, but for me, what's the Bulls' excuse? They still have a decent starting five with LaVine, DeRozan. They got Pat Beverly at the deadline. They got Vucevic. There's no reason the Chicago Bulls team shouldn't be winning 44, 45 games a year.
I agree. I don't know what's really up with this team. I don't really have anything to point to on. Hey, maybe I just think maybe they're the guys they got. They're good. Maybe they're just slightly overrated and they're not as good as we think they are. Maybe I don't know. Other than that, I don't know because you would think with LaVine, DeRozan, like you said, Vooch. Now with Pat Bev, maybe they would go on a better run to make the playoffs, but they're still looking really inconsistent at times. So it's hard to figure them out.
Yeah, it's consistently inconsistent. Is the word I like to use for these teams.
Exactly. You put the nail right on the head on that one.
Yeah.
We head out to our next one. I think this is probably the game of the night, in my opinion. This line has gone all the way down this morning on the jam session. I think when I seen it this morning, I think I woke up, it was at 3.5. It came down to 3, then went down to 2. Now I'm seeing evens. So we're seeing a lot of love for the Golden State Warriors today on the road. I like them in this spot too. I said yesterday, I'm on the Warriors today as I think they have some extra motivational factors to finally beat the Grizz on the road. We all know the Warriors road struggles, man. They're terrible. Terrible. They're the worst road ATS team in the league at 8-26. Straight up on the road, they've only won 7 games this season. They've been terrible. But I kind of think they wake up today, Chris. What do you think?
To be honest with you, I know a lot of people don't love necessarily totals, but I think this is another under. I do lean towards the Warriors, especially after that line move. But this has become a bit of a rivalry here. It started obviously in the offseason when the Grizz said they wanted to play the Warriors on Christmas Day. They got their wish, and the Warriors shut them up. And now, like I said, these two teams, they don't like each other. It doesn't help, but when you have Draymond Green, a bit of an instigator that can poke the bear, so to speak. And I think he is eligible to return for this game after suspension, but whether he does or not, I still think it's going to be a physical game. I think these two teams, like I said, they don't like each other, and you're starting to see that with the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies trying to beat the little bit of the little runt that likes to poke, poke and then annoy everybody. So I think this is going to be physical, not lower scoring, but 234.5 just too many here for me. I think this one gets to the mid to high 220s, but 234.5 just too many. So I'll take the under here, lean towards Golden State.
Yes, sir. I could see that under as well. So Ja Morant still out for this one. Looks like he will be back in the next one off the suspension. This is what I will say. The Grizzlies, they started out playing really good without Ja Morant. Then they they turned around, lost to Miami. And then yesterday, they were down that entire game to the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs have now covered in all 4 meetings versus the Grizzlies. But we know the Grizzlies have struggled on the road all season. At home, they've been pretty money, but they did beat this Warriors team at home not that long ago on the 9th, which was about 9 days ago. So about a week and 2 days ago. They beat them in Memphis pretty good, 131-110. I think that was Curry's first game back. I had the Warriors in that game too. I thought that they were going to wake up in that one. Every game since I faded the Warriors on the road. But today, man, is the day. I think they get it done. What was I going to say? I was going to say the Grizzlies. They have been playing great without Ja Morant, but I think today is a day where we kind of see that they need their star back. I think they need their star back. I hope we get this series in the playoffs. This is going to be electric. I hope we get it. But I know the Warriors have been awful on the road, but I'm going to lean on them today. I think they end their road woes today with extra motivation to do so against the Grizzlies. I faded them yesterday. I had the Hawks. Yesterday. Loved the Hawks yesterday. Today, I'm gonna take the Warriors in this one, Chris. It's not the best spot. I know it's not. And it's looking like all the money is coming in on the Warriors. But I'm going to hang firm. I'm going to hold firm in this one. Stick with my guns. I'm going to take the Warriors.
Well, I think they have to at some point because look at it objectively, right? Right now, the Warriors are what in the 7th seed. Even if they jump to 6th or 5th, right, means they start their playoff series, their first round series on the road. Excuse me. And you don't want to have an 8-win Warriors team on the road, have to play on the road for the majority of their first round, even though they're capable of winning a game on the road and flipping the series on its head. I think you got to see the Warriors kind of put their foot down and put themselves in the best possible spot. I mean, there's only 2.5 games separating them and the Suns for 4th in the Western Conference. So
that West is super tight right now, super competitive.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I do think I said this a few days ago, though. I think the 10 teams that are currently in are the 10 we see, with the Jazz and the Pelicans and Portland not making it. What you think?
You know what? It's like you said, just with how tight this last couple weeks of the season is going to be. I mean, the Pelicans to the Mavericks in 6th, separated by 2.5 games. There is tons of time for this to
shake up,
all go to hell. Yeah, exactly. And I think this is, for me personally, I would say it's far too early to lock in these 10. I can see where you're coming from 100%. But I just think with so much volatility with that tight window between 6th and 12th, there's just too much volatility for me to lock in on that right now.
Yes, sir. I get it, man. Portland is not even out of it, believe it or not, and they are on a free fall. So we'll see what ends up happening in a tightly contested West. Hell, we could be looking at the Lakers out of the play-in if they come on with it, but who knows? We'll see. We head out to our last and final matchup of the night. We got the Boston Celtics off the huge St. Patrick's Day win for everybody. I know a lot of people just bet them blindly based on that yesterday. Came through for some of them. I got the Jazz today. The Jazz, another team kind of like the Chicago Bulls, really inconsistent, hard team to figure out. They're right there in the thick of things, Chris, on the outside looking in, but one win and they're in. With how tight things are. Celtics going for their 50th win of the season, though. What you feel about this one?
Yeah, this one's another one I think is going to be tight, probably close to that number. I was initially leaning towards the Jazz and the points, just because of how inconsistent the Celtics have been. They are 7-1-1 against the spread their last 9 on no rest, so there is that. And, they have been decent on the road, like we've talked about. Now they feel the heat under their butts of the 76ers trying to pass them here. And they no longer control their own destiny here. They're 2 games up on the Sixers, so they got to do their best to keep the Sixers at bay here. But I think this game means just as much to the Utah Jazz, who we just said are on the outside looking in right now. They're tied with the Lakers for that 10 spot. They play their better basketball at home. Not a game I'm rushing to the window to bet by any stretch, but I think that there could be value here with the Jazz plus the points. It wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics won, but I think either way the Jazz cover. So I was leaning towards Jazz plus the points.
For sure. And, you might be onto something because the spots where the Jazz usually bite me are the spots where I don't see it coming. And at home in this one could be a spot, like you said, they're on the outside looking in. And it's not like the Celtics are officially in that mode right now. They have looked good winning 4 of their last 5, but ATS-wise, they've been had a few times. This is what I'll say in this one. This morning on my morning jam session, I did lean Celtics. It wasn't anything firm because we've seen them mess around and let teams like Minnesota come back and get the backdoor cover. We've seen them lose outright to the Houston Rockets of all teams. So it's a tough spot, man. And I do think the Celtics mess around and win the game. I do like Celtics money line in this one. I do still lean them 3.5. The Jazz can be real scrappy in this one, and hence the line's where it's at. The Jazz, they're not out of it. Like Chris said, they're not out of it. It's not a great spot for the Celtics either. Their 5th straight road game on a road back-to-back as well, because they did beat up on Portland yesterday, but it's still 5th straight road game, road back-to-back. It's not really a great spot for the Jazz either, first home game back after 6 straight road games. It's a tough one for me, Chris. I didn't bet this one. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't bet this one. I kind of lean Celtics, but I don't think I want no action in this one. It's a tough one for me.
Yeah, this definitely didn't make the list for me. This is, especially at that number, it's one of those things where it's like, you look at it and be like, is it a bad line? Is someone trying to tell us something?
Exactly.
It's definitely tough.
Tough spot. Well, welcome to everybody's favorite edition of the show, man. It's parlay time. So on here, I usually go. I let the guests choose one, then I go one, and then we agree on one. You up for it?
Yeah, I'm down for it. Let's get it done.
Let's get it done. So 2 days ago, me and Al cashed out. Yesterday, I let us down, man. I knew, guys. Hey, guys, I knew I should have took my Mavs yesterday. I knew I should have took my Mavs yesterday. I took the Lakers. They messed up the parlay. We went 2-1. Let's see if me and Chris can cook one up for the people today. What you liking today, Chris?
Honestly, my favorite play that maybe is necessarily on the premium side is that under between the Bulls and the Heat. I think that game is honestly the first to 100 wins. If you even get to that point, it's a fairly low total, but I think it's that low for a reason. So for my part of the parlay, I'll take the under between the Heat and the Bulls.
For sure. I like that too. I like that. I will put that on there. Let's see. What do I want to go with today for the people? I will go with. It's tough. It's either for me. I'm gonna go Sixers. I'll go Sixers for mine. Joel Embiid and those guys, they're in that mode right now, especially with the Pacers not having Halliburton and Mathurin in the lineup. I know they beat the Bucks in their last one, were scrappy and pulled that one out. I don't think the Sixers let up on them today. I think they're still full metal to the pedal, or pedal to the metal. I said that backwards. I like the Sixers in that one, Chris. You want to agree on one? Which one did we agree on one?
I think we agreed on the Timberwolves, and I think I leaned that way, but I also agreed with you a little bit on the Warriors as well.
I really like both of those. We can go T-Wolves.
All right.
Just because the Warriors' road woes are.
Yeah.
Even though I really like the Warriors tonight, guys, I really do. But I don't want them to be the one to mess up our parlay. Let's go House of Disappointment instead. I know it's ugly. It's only 5 games today, guys, but it is a three-team parlay. I think that we got some real value with Sixers laying the 6.5, Timberwolves plus the 10, and under Heat Bulls. I like it. I like it. Well, this has been the afternoon live jam session with my guy, Chris Ruffalo, man. I still have plays up there for sale. I have my $15 NBA jam session play, and I still have a 3-pack up there for sale for you guys, and a 3-pack in college hoops as well. So you can scoop all that up over at Pick Dogs Premium. What you got for sale left today, Chris?
I got my $15 NBA slam dunk, and I got a hoops and hockey 3-pack, 2 NBA bets, as well as an NHL play as well for the evening action for $40 at Pick Dogs Premium.
Yes, sir. Scoop all that up, man. Let's make some money tonight on a Saturday. We'll both see y'all in the morning on the live show in the morning. I'll see y'all on the jam session as well. And I will be back same time tomorrow evening. Chris, thank you for joining me, man. Your first appearance. I know I'll see you a lot more as we close out this NBA season. Thank you for joining me again, man. This was fun. Hope to see you again soon.
100%, man. I'll be back. I had a great time.
Yes, sir. Let's make some money tonight, guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We out of here. Peace.